Good morning, American government. TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. I am so thrilled. I bet you are as well. Hey, just want to give a special thank you for all of you who are doing the work, getting the assignments to me. I know this is a different and arduous process for a lot of us, including your teachers. And I just want to say thank you for all your cooperation. Hang in there. I can see the end. A few more weeks and this will all be over for you, and then we're done. But again, I wanted to thank you for your cooperation and your patience as we try to get through these last couple weeks. So we've been talking about constitutional freedoms and freedom of religion, and we landed on this First Amendment. And so just a little backdrop. It was Thomas Jefferson. He had this idea of wall of separation, this separation between church and state. And he truly, truly believed that the First Amendment would do exactly that. It would be this wall of separation, church, state. But I feel that he had no idea the ongoing controversy that the First Amendment and the wording of the First Amendment would create in this country. It is 2020, and we are still debating it in classrooms, boardrooms, and in courtrooms all across this land. Exactly what are your constitutional rights when it comes to freedom of religion with the First Amendment? So yesterday we looked at the clause, the first clause of the First Amendment, which is the Establishment Clause, and it says something to the effect that Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. We sort of get that, and again, we're trying to go back in time and go, what was the intent of the Founding Fathers? And then the second clause in the First Amendment is this Free Exercise Clause, and it says something to the effect that prohibits the government from unduly interfering with the free exercise of religion. Interesting word, unduly. Is that unwarranted, excessively? Again, it's another one of those words that's used in this Constitution that it's open up to debate. What exactly do you mean? Again, we've talked about this in class. What is cruel and unusual? What is speedy? Those type things. And now here we go. We throw this word unduly interfering. So again, you can see where some of the verbiage has led to a debate. And that is exactly what we see in our country today, because we debate freedom of religion consistently and constantly in this country. And again, we've said that it's an issue in classrooms, boardrooms, and certainly in our courtrooms. And then a couple cases, there's a zillion of them. There are court case after court case after court case. But just a couple few that were mentioned in the text, this Everson versus Board of Education challenged this idea of giving government aid to parochial schools. Some people, right, think that's not fair. An issue came up in one of the court cases about busing kids that go to a parochial school with the busing that sends kids to Fort Myers High School. Should we do that? That ended up in a court case. Some parents of kids that just hypothetically go to Fort Myers High School, go, listen, those kids want to go to a religious school, let them go to religious school. But I'm not washing my taxes, pay for their transportation to go to that school. On the flip side of it is, it's going, well, listen, if they don't go to a parochial school, they'd go to a state-run school. Obviously, there's costs and expenses there. So we debate this all the time. So again, cases such as Everson and Board of Education challenged what aid should the government give to parochial schools. Another one was Engel versus Vitale, challenged the requirement to pray in public schools. And this one, we've heard a lot about this requirement of praying. Do you pray at football games, graduations, to start the day at school, all those kind of things? It ended up in court. Then there's the Board of Education versus Allen, which challenged whether states' programs should provide secular books to parochial schools. And so you can see, every facet of, what can happen at a school, it gets into court. So should a state program provide secular books to a parochial school student? You're at a private school. Should the government fund some of those books? It ends up in court. Now, if it's a secular book, why wouldn't they? But again, those are the kind of things that we debate constantly. It goes on and on and on, and it's insane. So what happens is, because of all the court cases, what happens is what the court tries to do is they try to be consistent over time with their decisions, and that's called a precedent. And it's sort of following the decisions of the court of the same issue in earlier cases. The issue with that, and they do follow those, but the problem is times have changed. That there's every case is not the same. The reason why we're in court is because while it can be similar, it's different. And does that different change the interpretation of the Constitution? And that's why we have court case after court case after court case. And one of these issues, right, and we saw this not too long ago in the NFL with the national anthem. And when it comes to, the court has changed its interpretation of the Constitution, especially when it comes to flag salute cases. Now, the national anthem thing with the football player, that got all this publicity, notoriety, all those kind of things, and how that ended up. But the court has changed its interpretation over time. And so what we see is these cases, while they're similar, it's 2020, there's differences to these cases, and people think it should be heard in court because obviously they think they're right. This party thinks they're right, that party thinks they're right, and so let's go to court. And so we're getting to these things all the time. And so what happens is, because religion, right, has evolved over the years, and there's been some changes in religion, right, not fundamental truths, but just religious and all the different sects and things like that. The question is, has some of these decisions abridged or limited freedom of religion in this country? And because of this involvement of the religion, of all the different religions we have, it ends up back in court. And we've talked about this, and we sort of had some fun with the SFCEA handbook. It's like we have rules, but we have exceptions to the rules. And we've had some fun with that. And does that sound familiar? Of course it does. And that's exactly what we're finding in the court system when it comes to freedom of religion. All these cases are slightly different. And both parties, many parties think that the difference is why we should be in court. Makes the past ruling shouldn't apply to me. And so around and around and around we go. So it is a whirlwind when it comes to freedom of religion. So that's sort of the backdrop of what's going on. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to watch this short video, and then I want you to review section 2 in your book. I've attached that for you on a previous module, page 358 to 364, and then I need you to complete the worksheet 13.2. That is attached. Here's a little hint. 13.2 is really, really important. Got it? Remember this? Yes? Yes? 13.2 is really important. Do your best. And so do your best. Get that back to me. I'll tell you what, it's Friday tomorrow. If you can get it back Friday, fantastic. If not, just sometime Monday. But get 13.2 back to me. And that's really it. So it's not going to be real taxing for you today in terms of the workload. But if you watch the video, review section 2, read those pages, and complete worksheet 13.2. I am going to attach a little video that someone sent to me. I know Easter obviously was a little bizarre, right? Just the setting of it this year. And it's easy to sort of forget about Easter. And it's hard to believe it was only a few days ago. It seems like it was light years ago. But someone sent me this video of a young lady singing, so I'm going to attach it for you. And I hope you enjoy it. But have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And then we will get back together on Monday.
That he would soon be dead. He said, did you forget me, Father, did you? They nailed him to a wooden cross, and all the world would feel the loss. A soldier who had used a sword to pierce the body of our Lord said, truly this is Jesus Christ, our Savior. He looked with fear upon his sword, then turned to face his Christ and Lord, fell to his knees, crying, Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah. 3 days went by, again they came to move the stone, to bless the slain with oil and spice, anointing. Hallelujah. But as they went to move the stone, he saw that they were not alone. They saw that he had risen. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Took from his head the thorny crown and wrapped him in a linen gown.